Hare Krishna. So do all of you now have something to write on and something to write with?
No.
Uh-oh, who doesn't have something to write on and something to write with? Raise your hands.
I don't have something to write with. I have something to write on, but I don't have something to write with.
Something to write, okay. If you need both something to write on and something to write with, raise 2 hands and put them together so we can see that you need both. And if you just need one, just raise 1 hand. So if you need both, 2 hands together, we need paper and pencils or paper and pens. Okay. Do you know if everybody has something to write on, something to write with? Okay. So, what big festival did we just finish? Gaur Purnima. Why is it called Purnima? Oh, that's so good, because it's a day of full moon, yeah. Yes?
Because the full moon is there.
That's right. You're exactly right. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to think about the story of how Lord Caitanya came to the earth. All right? You ready? Everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay. So Krishna, the Supreme Lord, was thinking a lot about his best devotee. Who's his best devotee? Yeah? Radharani. Radharani loves Krishna very, very much. And Krishna was trying to understand, how does she love me? Then he had an idea. What was his idea? How was he going to find out? How was Krishna going to find out how much Radharani loved him? What was he going to do? Yeah? He could test her. He could do that, couldn't he? But that wasn't what he did. What else could he do?
He could come down and play with Radharani.
He could come down and play with Radharani. He could do that, but that's not what he did. What else could he do? He could what? He could investigate. Oh, that's a big word. I like that word. So how did he investigate? Suppose you wanted to find out what somebody else thought of you. How could you do that? Yeah? You could test them, yeah, but he didn't do that. What did he do? Yeah? Well, that's pretty close. He said, what's your name? Krishna. Is that your name? That's a nice name. Krishna said, that's Krishna Das, not Krishna Krishna. He said that Krishna manifested himself as half Krishna and half Radharani. That's sort of kind of right. Basically, it's like he became Radharani. Could you imagine that? Like if I wanted to know how you feel about me and I became you? And then I could feel what you feel? So when Krishna came many thousands of years ago, you remember when Krishna came and he talked to Arjuna? Right? And he said, you can be happy if you serve me with love. But that seems really hard. Is it hard to serve Krishna with love or easy? What do you think? Who thinks it's hard? Who thinks it's easy? Easy, all right. Well, okay, that's good. But Krishna thought, man, a lot of people are going to think that's really hard. Don't write anything yet. You're so anxious and eager. So Krishna thought, let me show them how to do it. Sometimes when you want to ask someone to do something really hard, first you want to show them how to do it. So Krishna decided to come as his own devotee and show people how to serve him. So it was hundreds of years ago in India. Please don't write now. Oh, I don't know what your name is in the beautiful gold outfit, but don't write now. So when Krishna came a few hundred years ago as Lord Caitanya, how many hundreds of years ago is that? Do you know? Yes?
500.
Excellent. That's very good. So the moon came up, and what moon was it again? It was just a crescent moon, a full moon. But even though the moon came up, was it light outside? Usually when the full moon comes up, it's really light, right? But it wasn't. It was dark. Why was the moon dark? What was happening that the moon was dark? Yeah? Because what? You don't know, but you were trying to make a good guess. Yes?
Because Krishna wanted to know in that what was Radharani loving.
I like you a lot. What's your name?
Radharani Radha.
Gaurangi Radha. Wow, you're such an enthusiastic. Very nice. No, but that's not right. Why was it was a good answer? Though. I liked your answer. It was really sweet. It was really sweet. Made me very happy. But that's not the right answer. But it was a good answer. And it's good to try good answers, even if they're not right. Maybe it is right. I don't know. I'll ask Lord Caitanya if it was right. So how come when the full moon came up, it was dark? What made it dark? Yeah?
Krishna was sad.
Because Krishna was dark. Another great guess. Yes. Clouds were covering it. That's an even better guess, and you're closer, 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 closer. Yes? Yes. Well, sort of. Because there is a statement like that when Lord Caitanya rises, why do you need a moon? But not exactly, yeah? You forgot. But at least you tried. Trying is good. There was an eclipse. Do you know what an eclipse is? Oh, yeah.
When the sun covers the
Well, it couldn't be the sun because the sun's down. When the full moon comes up, the sun goes down. It's the earth's shadow on the moon, right? Which is also Rahu's head going, and swallowing the moon. And if we had a lot more time, we could do a lot of cool stuff about eclipses. So there was an eclipse. How many of you have ever seen an eclipse of the sun or the moon? How many of you have seen an eclipse of the sun or the moon? That's pretty good. You know, when there's an eclipse, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to chant, right? Yeah, we're supposed to chant. We're supposed to take a bath in a sacred river. Do we have any sacred rivers here? So where would we take a bath? We could take a bath in what? Yeah? Well, we could, but I don't see the Yamuna around here. Maybe you have transcendental vision. So what could we take a bath in that's right here? Yes? Well, you could take a bath in the shower, but that wouldn't be where we would take a bath. Yeah? Oh, it's just sweet. You're also sweet, but no, that's not the right answer. Yes? Well, but I don't see the Ganga around here. We're talking about in Melbourne. Yes, Mr. Enthusiasm. At the beach. Oh, he's so smart. At the beach. Because all the sacred rivers go into the ocean. So when you bathe in the ocean, you're bathing in all the sacred rivers. Did you know that? Now you know that. So what we could do on an eclipse is we could go bathe in the ocean, unless it's like in July, then it would be a little cold. Right? So we could go bathe in the ocean, and then what else do we do? Yes? Go in the... Oh, I'm not from here, so I didn't know about that river. So that's why I couldn't understand what you were saying. I don't know, I think the ocean would be better. And then we could chant Hare Krishna. So there was... Give me that pen. Thank you. So then we could go take a bath in the ocean, and we could also chant Hare Krishna. So there was an eclipse. And all the people in India were bathing in the rivers. And around where Lord Caitanya was born, what river were they bathing in? The Ganga. And they were all chanting Hare Krishna. You want to give me that one too to hold? Are you going to play with that too if I don't hold it? So when Lord Caitanya came, everybody was chanting. There was big Sankirtan going on. Yes?
When Krishna was born, he was born with Yamuna and Chaitanya was born.
That's right. You're very right. So even when Lord Caitanya was a baby, he would cry if people didn't chant Hare Krishna. So he was helping people to chant Hare Krishna, right? And Lord Caitanya could see that people didn't care about spiritual life. They just cared about money and having a happy family and having a nice house, right? So he decided to take sannyas and go around all of India and preach, right? Okay. And he taught actually all of us. Now, of course, you can say, well, Lord Caitanya was 500 years ago, so how did he teach us? But he taught us by him teaching Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami taught Krishna Das Kaviraj, and then Srila Prabhupada translated what Krishnadas Kaviraj said, so we're also learning from Lord Caitanya. So, we're going to talk about some travel times of Lord Caitanya. And, well, this isn't actually Lord Caitanya, Lord Chaitanya's devotees. So Lord Caitanya lived in Jagannath Puri after he took sannyas. But the devotees from his hometown in Bengal, in Navadvip, would come to see him. So I want you to listen very, very carefully to this story, because after we tell this story, we're going to do something with our papers, all right? Okay? And the people who listen to this story will be much better at it, and the ones who didn't listen to this story won't be. When Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, Swarup Damodar sent news of the Lord's arrival to all the devotees in Bengal. When they heard this, they were very happy, and they all went to Jagannath Puri. All the devotees from different places, like Kulinagram and Kanda, as well as Advaitacharya, went together, and they all met Shivananda Singh. So Shivananda Singh was the leader. Are any of you leaders? Any of you leaders? No? None of you are leaders? Maybe someday. So, you are! Oh, good. Okay. So Shivananda Singh was the leader of the devotees. He would take all the devotees from Bengal to where? Where was Lord Caitanya? Where was Lord Caitanya? Everybody together. Where was Lord Caitanya? Good. So they would travel. Did they take a plane?
No.
Why did they take a plane?
No plane.
There were no planes. Okay. Did they take a train?
No.
Why not? Did they take a car?
No.
Why not?
No.
So how did they travel? They walked. Did they take bicycles? Why not? No bicycles. What about motorcycles? No, they walked. It's a long walk. Days and 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 days of walking. And many devotees walked, and Shivananda Singh was in charge of all of them. So he was in charge of making sure everyone had a place to stay, and he was in charge of making sure everyone had something to eat. So while they were walking, a dog started to follow them. Who's ever had a dog follow you? You ever had a dog follow you? Okay, so they had a dog follow them. He was just a street dog. It was just a stray dog, and the dog was following them. And Shivananda Singh decided, if the dog is following me, he's part of our group. So what do you think he gave the dog? Food and a place to stay. Yes, he gave the dog food and he gave the dog a place to stay. One time they had to cross a river. Did they have a bridge to cross the river? No. There were bridges in those days, but there wasn't a bridge across the river. So if there's no bridge, you have to go in a boat. How many of you have gone a boat in India across the river? A boat across the river in India. So they took a boat across the river, and when you go on a boat, is it free? No, you have to pay something, right? So you had to pay the boatman. Have you ever seen anyone take like their bicycles or their motorbikes on a boat? Who's seen somebody put bicycles or motorbikes on a boat? You haven't seen that. So then they have to pay for it. So Shivananda Singh told the boatman, I want to take the what on the boat? What did Shivananda Singh want to take on the boat? Everybody together? The dog. He wanted to take the dog. And what do you think the boatman said? He said, if you want to bring the dog, you'll have to pay. You'll have to pay money. So Shivananda Singh paid money for the dog. Was it his dog? No, it was just a street dog. Right? And then one time, Shivananda Singh had to pay a toll. Do you all know what a toll is? Sometimes you don't. Do you have any toll roads here in Melbourne? But probably you just have a little card and you just drive through with your card so the children don't see you paying a toll, so they have no idea that you're paying a toll. So, do your parents ever drive through and they have like a little card on their car? Like you go through this kind of booth and it has this like metal arm that comes down? And you have a little card in your car and it like beeps or something? And then you can go through? When your parents are doing that, they're actually spending money. When every time it beeps, it's like it's taking money out of your parents' bank. Okay. So they didn't have those little cards then, so you had to actually give them cash. And so Shivananda Sain had to pay in money for all the group to go. And he said, I'll stay and I'll pay and all of you go. So he was busy. And while he was busy and the group went ahead, he put somebody else in charge. He said, you take care of everybody while I pay the toll. And the person who took care of everybody, guess who he didn't take care of? The dog. He didn't feed the dog and he didn't give the dog a place to stay. Well, the dog was then hungry. So what do you think the dog did? Yes. The dog beat him? Dogs can't beat you. Well, he bit? No, he didn't bite him. Yes.
He went to the person who was in charge and asked.
The dog? That's a pretty clever dog. No, he didn't know who was in charge because he was used to getting fed by Shivananda Sain. Shivananda Sain wasn't there, he was playing the toll, yeah? He went away to look for some. What was he looking for? Food. He was looking for some food. He was hungry and nobody fed him, so he went away to look for some food. So Shivananda Sain came and he said, where's the dog? Oh, he left. And then he said, well, did you feed him? No, I didn't feed him. Oh, why didn't you feed the dog? Right? And then what do you think Shivananda Sain did? He told everybody to find the dog. Do you think they found the dog? No. They couldn't find the dog. They looked everywhere. They couldn't find the dog. So Shivananda Sain was really worried about this dog. Was this his dog? So why was he so worried about this dog?
Because maybe it was someone else's dog.
No, it was a street dog, but that was a good guess. Yes?
Because it was in their team.
Yes, exactly. Because the dog was on their team. That's exactly right. Yeah?
The dog died with the related.
Did the dog die? You're telling the end of the story. Don't ruin the end of the story. So they couldn't find the dog, and Shivananda Sain was worried because he was on their team, yeah. And he felt, I'm supposed to take care of this dog. So they went to Jagannath Puri, and on that day, Lord Caitanya went with them to see Lord Jagannath, and then he had lunch with everybody. So everybody was having prasad together. And Lord Caitanya made sure that everybody got a place to stay in Jagannath Puri. And then the next morning, they all came to see the Lord, and they were having breakfast. And guess who was there with Lord Caitanya?
The dog.
The dog. And can you guess what the dog was doing?
Singing.
Guess what the dog was doing? Yes, yes.
Singing.
He was singing. He was going, rama, 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 rama. And Lord Caitanya was feeding the dog. You know what he was feeding the dog? Yeah? Yeah, but what kind of prasadam, do you know? Yeah, you know? You're guessing. Someone, anybody who knows? Yes, sir.
Rice.
Rice? Good guess, because people in Bengal and Orissa eat a lot of rice, but no, it wasn't rice. Yes?
Sabji.
Sabji, another great guess. Yes? Coconut. Now, who's ever heard of a dog eating coconut? Dogs don't usually eat coconut, but the dog was eating coconut and going, rama, 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 rama. And then when Shivananda saw the dog, guess what he did? Yes? What? Embrace the dog? No, but you're close. Close answer. Yeah? No, not yet. You're jumping a little bit ahead.
He asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if he could have the dog.
No. No, he didn't. He didn't want to own a dog. The devotees didn't own dogs then. Yes? Anybody else? He offered his obeisances to the dog. And he said, I'm so sorry that you didn't get fed. He said, I'm so sorry you didn't get fed. And then, yes, the dog got liberated. But he didn't just go in the Brahmajyoti. He went to... Where did he go? He went to Goloka Vrindavan. All right. So Shivananda Sain had a dog as a traveling companion, right? The dog was traveling with him. Here, can you take this and not fight about it anymore? Will you stop fighting? Are you going to fight or not? Are you going to fight? I'm getting it's his hand, not yours. You're already fighting. Look at that. Now you're going to give it to him? But you're not going to fight. Yeah? No? Yes? Okay. All right. So this is what you're going to do on your papers. And you're going to do it in groups so people like Gaurangi Radhika who don't know how to write can work with the other groups. All right, Gaurangi Radhika? Gaurangi Radhika, that's your name, right? Gaurangi Radha. Gaurangi Radha, that's your name? And you can't write yet, right? Because you're only 5, right? You can't write? Because you're only 5. So you'll be in a group with some older kids and they'll help you, all right? Is that okay? Okay, I'm glad that's okay. So, what I want you to do okay, so can you guys read this? Do you know what this says? And this says? All right, very good. So we're going to look at traveling companions. So those are big words. Probably you guys do it with 2 L's, right? In America we do it with 1. So traveling companions, who might we want to travel with? So we're going to write down a dog. Why are we going to write down a dog? Because she would understand how a dog is a traveling companion. What other kinds of traveling companions could we have? Who else could we have as a traveling companion? Yes? A cat. All right. We can have humans too. It doesn't have to be just animals. Yes? Who else could we have as a traveling companion? A bird. Do you know there was a lady that tried to take a peacock on an airplane and said that it was her traveling companion? Did you know that? And the airline said, nope. She said, this peacock is my traveling companion. Yes? You can have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as your traveling companion. Oh my goodness. Wow. You're ready to travel with Lord Caitanya. You can come to, maybe you should come to the group tomorrow, the older kids, because we're going to be looking at that. Yes?
A man?
A man. Could we be a little bit more specific? There's so many men. Like what man?
An old man?
An old man. You know, that's very interesting, because there's a very famous story of a young man who traveled with an old man to Vrindavan.
Yes, I know.
You know that story? That's about the deity who walked. And that was an old man from his village. Sakshi Gopal, yeah. There was a young man who traveled with an old man from his village. So we'll put that down. We'll put old man. How old do you have to be old? That's a terrible question, isn't it? But I'll ask him, so how many years old would you have to be an old man? What do you think? 100, that's really old. What do you think? How old is an old man? 6! That was great. That's a really old man. All right, so then if we look at this, let's say an old man is like 80. Is that all right? I think 6 is 100 is too old and 6 is too young. So we're going to say, what did you say? 53, okay. All right, so let's say an 80-year-old man. So what would be the good things about traveling with an 80-year-old man? Can you tell me something good? What might be something good? Yes, sir, in the back. Yes, sir, you in the back. Yes, you. What's a good thing about traveling with an 80-year-old man? You could take care of him. All right. I bet you would take really good care of him. What else might be a good thing? Yes, sir. Oh, I'm so happy you did. You were Sakshi Gopal. You were the deity. Wow. Yes. You could do service, take care of him. Yeah, what else might be good? Yes. Krishna. That's a perfect answer for anything. Yes? We already said that. Is there something else? Exactly. I was waiting for someone to say that. You could learn from him. Okay, especially if he had already been where you were going, right? Okay, what would be the bad things about traveling with an 80-year-old man? Yeah?
You have to go too slow to go see.
You'd have to go very slowly, okay. What might else be a bad thing about traveling with an 80-year-old man? Yes? Might be boring. Okay, let's look now at a cat. What would be the good things about traveling with a cat? Some good thing about traveling with a cat. Yes? What? Yes? You could preach to the cat? I've never successfully preached to a cat. Not quite sure how you do that. Yes? Yes, you. You forgot. Some of these kids just like to raise their hands. Yes? You could, is that a good thing or a bad thing? That's a good, probably both. I think we'll put it right here. You'd have to feed the cat and you'd have to feed the cat. Okay, I'm going to ask someone who's not raising their hand. Can you tell me a good or a bad thing about traveling with the cat? You have to, is that good or bad? It's good. Okay. I think it could be both. Because it could be trouble to take care of the cat. I'm going to ask someone else who hasn't raised their hand. I'm going to ask you, is that delicious? Do you want to eat it for dinner? So can you tell me a good or bad thing about taking care of a cat? When you're traveling? What about you? Can you tell me something good or bad about taking care of a cat when you're traveling? Yes? They could run away. Is that a good or a bad thing? Bad. Okay. They might run away. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get into 4 groups. Okay, so each of the assistants, please gather together a group of kids and have them all together make a list of traveling companions. And I really want you to think about this with travel. I really want you to think about this with travel. Just stay where you are. You don't have to move, just stay where you are. So I'd like to know who can suggest you can sit down now. Okay, thank you. I'd like to know who would you like to have if you were going to go see Lord Caitanya in Jagannath Puri and you were going to walk. Who would you take with you as your traveling companion? And I'm just going to ask different people. Who would you take? Your parents. Who would you take? A horse. And who would you take? A dog. Who would you take? A peacock. All right. And who would you take? You would take a holy man. All right. And who would you take? A unicorn. I'm not quite sure where you're going to find one of those, but that sounds interesting. Who would you take? A dog. Who would you take? A devotee. Who would you take? Take non-devotees and make them into devotees on the way. Okay, who would you take? Your family. All right, who would you take? Who would you take? A cow. Okay, they're kind of slow. Who would you take? A bird. What kind of bird? Whoa. Who would you take? A sheep. Who would you take? You would take a Bhagavad Gita. Well, that's interesting. Wow. And who would you take? A what? A phone to hear a lecture. Okay. Deities. You would also take deities. Who would you take? Who would you take? A clown. Well, we keep you entertained. Now, who would you take? A sheep. You would also take a sheep. Interesting. Or you're going to make clothes from the wool on your travels. Yes, who would you take? You're going to take Krishna in your heart. Okay. Who would you take?
Take the deities to serve Krishna.
We take the deities to serve Krishna.
A chicken.
A chicken? Yes. Oh, you would take the Maha Mantra. And what about you? What? A friend. Okay. And who would you take? You're too old for this group. And who would... You're definitely over 6, so you're definitely an old lady here. All right, who would you take? You would also take a horse. That would be convenient. You could ride on the horse. Yes? And what about you? What? Deities. You would take a teacher with you. Oh, well, that's nice. Who would you take? You would take your chanting beads. This is so clever. Yes. A lion. I don't think I want to bring a lion with me on my journeys. And what about you? Mridanga. That's kind of heavy to carry a mridanga with you, but not as awkward as traveling with a cow. Did you think of something? What's that? A fox. Might bite you when you're sleeping. No, not if you have to think about it. Should already have it there. Yes. A suitcase. Oh, there we have a very, very practical person. Yes. Yes, you. Your parents. That's useful. Especially when you're so little. Have you actually thought of something now? What's it? Food. Okay. Yes. You're going to bring an airplane with you in your pocket. Okay, so did you all like this story of Shivananda Saint and the dog? Okay, thank you very much. Lord Caitanya ki.